Have you ever driven by somebody's house and noticed on their porch that they have these plants that are kind of like levitating above the porch? Yeah, those are hanging baskets, nothing to get worried about. And the neat thing about hanging baskets is that they've been around for a long time. We're talking some 3,000 years. In the olden days, they used these woven baskets that were made out of reed. And though they were very nice to use at the time, they're worthless today because they rot out. What you gotta have is a basket that is made out of metal. And you can get them in different shapes and sizes. And this one right here is a very thin gauge one that I've had for many years. As a matter of fact, I've had this ever since I was born, about 25 years ago. It has seen a lot of plants. Speaking of which, you're gonna need plants for this. Gotta have a chain, it's gotta be a thick and durable one, some S-hooks to hang it. You gotta have some of this green wet moss, and then of course a very good, rich, well-draining and light soil mix. Then you need to begin the lining process. Okay, there's a fast track way of doing this, and that would be getting yourself one of these pre-made liners. You just take them and stick them in and flatten it out, and hopefully it's gonna contour to the basket. I like doing it the old school way, and the old school way is by getting this green moss. You're gonna dunk it in some water, and it's just a real simple process where we take this, get a clump of it, and it's gonna be stringy and kind of yucky, but get a good 1-inch layer of it and start putting it inside the basket. And we're gonna work it all the way up to the top. Now look at this, isn't this beautiful? I feel like a mama bird and I have to lay an egg in here. Check this out. Look how that layered really nice. It's about 1 inch all the way around. Before you go running out and digging up your yard and garden to put soil in here, you wanna leave that stuff alone. For a hanging basket, you need a lightweight mix. There's a couple of different ways to tell whether you're getting a lightweight soil mix. The first way is going to your local nursery and garden center and picking up a bag. If it's light, chances are it's a lightweight mix. The other thing is this, look what's inside the bag. You want things like this white stuff here, which is perlite. You also want to have some peat moss in there, great for holding on to moisture. It's an organic material. So what you're going to want to do is take a small amount of this and just put it at the bottom to kind of level it out. What I want you to do is get yourself an empty water bottle. This is going to help add moisture so that the plants don't die off. Now, how's that gonna work? Well, what you're gonna need is to get yourself a utility knife, and the first thing I want you to do is to cut some slits just right in the side over here. Be very careful. We're gonna cut this just like this. You would think we'd put it this way, right? No, we don't do that. What we're gonna do is turn it around and put it right into the center. Because when we end up watering, the water is going to collect in here. I'm not gonna go all the way up right now. And the reason being is because we still have to put plants in here. In gardening, it's all about plant location. And with that in mind, you have to put this someplace. So you gotta think ahead of time, where is it going to go? Are we gonna put it in a patio that gets absolutely no sun? Or are we gonna put it in a front porch where it gets full blasting, horrible sun? Or are we gonna put it where it gets a little bit of both? So that determines the type of plants that we're gonna use. For instance, here we have ivy geranium. These would make a great hanging basket plant, but you're gonna have to have full sun for it. Now you have to remember, I don't want you to get all weirded out if it doesn't look that full, because you're really not going to see the top of this anyhow. Although this is going to cascade over, look real pretty. This white's going to kind of make a big powder puff up here. We can stop this whole process. But if you want to take it a little further, one of the things you can do, which is really pretty slick with the hanging basket, is that you can plant on the sides. You can take this and put herbs in there if you wanted to. Whatever you can grow inside of a container, you can also grow it inside a hanging basket. What I want you to do now is to place the S-hook, and we need to find the edge. And once we have the edge, we get ourselves a pair of pliers, and we're gonna close it off like this. And we're gonna need 3 anchor points along this. The next step in this whole thing is our chain. It's really important to choose a heavy duty one as well, because Once you get water in this can weigh up to 50 pounds, if not more. You can go to your local hardware store and ask them to cut it for you or cut it yourself. And just like we did before where we attached it to our metal on our hanging basket, we'll do the same here. It's time to take inventory. We have our chain with S hooks that are crimped. We have the very end of it. All right, that's a good thing. We've got that 3 times over here. Now what we want to do is get a swivel D hook. Let's just hook this on. Before we hang this up, I don't want you to water it. It's going to be too heavy. Be certain that the hook that you use to hang it on is just as durable and strong as the rest of this is. And then from there, it's just a matter of taking care of the plant like you would any potted plant. Be certain that you water it on a regular basis, use vitamins, nutrients, and before you know it, this sparse little planting that you have here is gonna fill out and be a beautiful powder puff and the envy of your neighborhood.